Liberty Fighters Network.
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 Liberty Fighters Network. Liberty Fighters.
Good day, liberators and fellow South Africans. As I have expected, the video I've made about DearSA on Friday was very much controversial and have sparked a lot of feedback. And luckily, after waiting since December 2020, I finally got reaction from DearSA. And let me share this one response that I've received from Rob Hutchinson, a WhatsApp message that he sent to me. Now, firstly, okay, there's Rob Hutchinson, DearSA, and I just want to first show you this, that on the 16th of June, I've sent a message to Rob, which he did receive, as you can see that it's marked here in blue, and he never responded to this. I've asked him, morning Rob, and I've noted your media release saying that government says that we are terrorists. Where did you get that information, as I'm not aware of such threats? Would you be so kind to urgently share your information with me? And then I gave the contacting details. Nothing was received. Even her dispatch attorneys did not react to the letter that I've sent to all of them. And Saturday, after posting the video, I've received this message from Rob. Thanks for the promo video. Are you aware that Blom and Dixon stole the funds from DearSA, which resulted in the Indigo Trust cancelling the grant, which had to be returned to them? Okay, I'll respond to that just now. Blom and Dixon are facing criminal charges, including contempt of court. Now, unfortunately, Reyno, you have literally all your facts incorrect. Are you the controlled opposition? Yes, and then Rob also further goes on to say, if you want me to respond, I'll be forced to reveal the truth about Blom and Dixon with the evidence. Also, I originally came from OTA, was one of the founding members, directors. Why didn't you mention that? I'll mention it in my response. And before I show you my response, let me just go on. I've responded to say, you are most welcome. Then you can send the announcement of your video to your 900,000 people you are using to collect funds for AfriForum. We have neither contact nor affiliation with Blom or Dixon. The question remains, who would give DearSA such a massive grant by sourcing? To function as a mere intermediary? I'll put your response on our groups too and ask Dixon and Blom to respond on yours too, so that the public can get all the information. And then he added perfect, so he gave his permission that we can share his input with the public. And then are we collecting funds for AfriForum, or is that just another of your unsubstantiated and slanderous assumptions? Yes, people. So number one, what is evident from it is that Rob Hutchinson confirmed that they have received money from the Indigo Trust. Secondly, he said that apparently due to Blom, Ted Blom, the ESCOM commentator that I said was a director before, and Dixon, it's Sandra Dixon, yes. And I've told you that you must just Google her. She's very prominent in political and activist groups. And she was also director, but now he's blaming them for some reason. I'm not aware of what was going on, but the fact is that they have received the money. And then he said that because they stole it, he did not say allegedly, so he's very sure that they stole the money had to be paid back. So if the money had to be paid back to the Indigo Trust, it means that there was an agreement of some sort. A service agreement that we will pay you for a service that you are rendering, that we don't know what that service is, but it amounted to 1.2 million rand in total. Why pay back? So how did they not adhere to this agreement that they had to be paid back? Normally a grant, if we would ever be privileged to receive a grant of some sort, why would we have to pay it back? It's a grant. But in this respect, I had to pay it back. So there were conditions set to the ground, to that grant, and we want to know as the public what those conditions are, because they were sourced by the Indigo Trust. And as I've said, that someone, a secret admirer, whoever that might be, paid that money into the Indigo Trust, and the Indigo Trust channeled that grant to DearSA. So we want to know what is going on there. And then my YouTube channel and Telegram and so forth were basically trolled by DearSA or DearSA supporters, don't know what. And let me show you what they had to say, and then I'll react to what their opinions were. People, firstly, let's just go to the Telegram group. Now, there was firstly a Tim. But he's definitely not his correct name. Why on earth would I want to send stuff directly to government so that they can hide the actual outcomes to suit themselves? At least with DearSA, there's a record of what's been sent in, and it can be used in a court should government ignore it. Okay, I'll respond to that. And then there was another person. Exactly, there is no indication of how many submissions they have had, and they can quote any figure they like if the comments are sent in on an individual basis. In addition, I think that it is fairly obvious by now that they don't give a rat's backside about what the public thinks, and consequently how valid the comments are if they have a point. Send comments to them individually if one wants, but make sure that they are also sent through a mechanism that can record them and the numbers of them. Although I have respect for Liberty Fighters Network and the work done by Reyno, this is clearly a case of flawed logic on the part of Liberty Fighters Network. I have no issue with subscribing to get all of the latest stuff. Your personal info is sent to them using both methods anyway, so this may mean that one gets some of the stuff sooner than DearSA presents it. I strongly believe that there has to be a method used to track numbers of submissions, though. That is a quite valid remark that he made, and I totally take that. But you know, at the end of the day, let me explain. Based on DearSA's response on this video on the YouTube channel. So let me just go to that, and then you'll see this is what DearSA said. Why on earth would Liberty Fighters Network encourage the public to subscribe? Started with the same sentence as Tim, coincidentally. Why on earth would Liberty Fighters Network encourage the public to subscribe to a government service and to send all their personal info and comments on policy directly to government? That is one way to land up on a government watch list, Reyno. This is highly irresponsible and certainly questionable coming from the supposed anti-government Liberty Fighters Network. And then there was a person by the name of King Trent. This is the first time, I just need to add, this is the first time that King Trent ever commented on any of our groups. I'm not familiar with any comment that King Trent made before. It's only on this one. Hi Reyno, I do believe you've done great work towards countering current tyranny. However, I feel that the 22 minutes listening time into this video for me has been wasted time. Going on criticizing DearSA and AfriForum, who in my opinion are fantastic organizations which are achieving great results, is sour grapes on your part. Maybe I'm just tired tonight, but that is what it seems. Reminds me of animal rescuers who bicker over the other one for ego's sake. All of you are on the same side, so I'm not sure why you dedicated this 51 minutes to negatively dissect these other organizations. Sour grapes, controlled opposition, you've lost credibility for me. And I just want to go to this other DearSA. Why on earth would LFN encourage the public to subscribe to a government service and to send all their personal info and comments on policy directly to government? And that's the same comment made by Tim on the Telegram group. So So I'm very much open with the comments. I must just say that we had a 98%, more than almost a 99% like rate on this video. There were only 2 people who disliked it. So you can figure out for yourself who that could have been. But in any event, people, number one, DearSA said that why send your information directly to government? You will land on a watch list. People, let me show you how DearSA is sending their information or these comments directly to the government. And people, if you think that your personal information is not sent, let me show this. This is the evidence, the record coming from the health minister on the comments received from DearSA. And I'll show you that your name and your email address are in that notice. So let me go there. This is the record. Let me show you. It's the urgent application. I'll go to the record. Oh, there it is. Sorry. DearSA emails. People. Now, there's if you have commented on this, your name will appear. Your full names will appear somewhere in these documents. And then, let me go into one of them. Now, this was sent to Tsakani Furumeli. That is the email address that was on the government notice, Tsakani Furumeli, to which people had to send their emails to. So DearSA merely forwarded it to the same email address. And when you go down here, and sorry, Rafiq, if you thought that you've made anonymous comment, no, there's from Rafiq Muhammad, and that's his email address as well. And there's Mpu and Stephen, and you go on. All their details are there. All 320,000 of them. People, your comment to DearSA was sending a spreadsheet to the government. So if you had sent it individually, at least government still had to put it on a spreadsheet or on a database. But DearSA is, if DearSA is concerned about the whitelist, then why do they present government with a spreadsheet with the information contained in it? So that argument does not fall with me. Sorry, I don't get it. And let's just go on. That the people, and look at this. Now this is also a spreadsheet. WhatsApp messages that you've sent to government, and this landed up as part of the record. And I will not show the email, the WhatsApp mobile numbers, but in this column here, but this is from government, have been presented. So people who have used their platforms, there's your number. And here is, and this will be your name. So I've hidden the names here as well. There's a Suraya and a Anna and a Helen and a Sibongile and a Helen and a Victor and a Victor and a Victor. So you can actually make it appears more than one comment, and that is the other question I will attend to now. And there's AfriForum. So they've also sent it to Tsakani, and in there, you will, let me just go there, your name appear, Karen Albertine, whoever that is, Adrian Iman, and so forth and so forth. So people, even if you utilize these services, your info will get to government. So if you're concerned that you will land in a watch list, people, you've already been watched. All of us are being watched. So don't let that be a trigger to utilize the service of DearSA. And I'm not saying that don't use it. I'm showing you the pitfalls. And people, let me just highlight this specific thing here that's from the Consumer Protection Act. Now, it goes here, false, misleading, or deceptive representations. In relation to the marketing of any goods or services, the supplier must not by words, conduct, directly or indirectly express or imply a false, misleading, or deceptive representation concerning a material fact to a consumer. And there it goes on in terms of what is deceptive representation. And we've said that when DearSA sends out their messages to the people, and only highlight that it's their court case going on, and not highlight that it's with AfriForum, because many of the people, the moment when they hear the name AfriForum, like many of our supporters, for example, will not participate in any of those proceedings, will not give the support to DearSA in that matter. So the fact that AfriForum's name is not mentioned there is a detrimental defect, and we are saying that it is deceptive marketing. So people, I can go on, and at the end of the day, that comments, how did the government receive comments on draft legislation before the days of DearSA? So about pre-2018-ish, roughly there. People, it's not about the quantity of comments, it's about the quality of the comments. You've got a greater opportunity to encourage an organization like, for example, Liberty Fighters Network, or even the political party that you are supporting. Find out where they are. Go and let them, make your submissions to them, and let those people make proper representations and comments to government about new upcoming legislation. It's not a referendum, people. It's not that if you receive 320,000 comments and 97% of those people say that we don't like the health regulations. People, it's not a referendum. The fact is, and I've showed it in the other video, I believe, that even if we don't like the apartheid regime government, many of the legislation that went through them are still used today. It's not unconstitutional. So even if we don't like the government, it's not that the legislation that they are creating are unconstitutional, or it's a bunch of poppycock. I just want to be reasonable. I'm saying that when we are in government one day, and you have elected and your really chosen political party becomes the government of the day, you don't want them to be spammed with 320,000 emails when they make legislation. And why should we be hypocrites and do it now against this incompetent government of ours? Why? Let's be fair here, people. And people, if you think that your comment doesn't matter how great it is, the moment when the drafts were drafted and published, they've already made up their mind. I've made comments to legislation before myself, and I've even showed spelling errors in those comments that must obviously be rectified. And notwithstanding my wonderful comments, and I knew that it was wonderful comments, it was actually a nice document that was presented to government then. It was in relation, I think, about the Property Practitioners Act or something, yes. They've published that very draft as the legislation eventually, with the spelling errors, with no changes. So it's much better eventually, and that is how they are planning these things, that you must contest it when it's published, then you must take it to court and challenge it on constitutional matters. Your comments will basically mean absolutely nothing. Honestly, I'm not saying that you should not participate in the legislative process by not commenting. Go and do your comment, but remember that it's not about the quantity, it's all about the quality. People, I've hoped that DearSA is going to show us and come forward with who their secret admirer is, and why could that secret admirer who gave them 1.2 million rand, which they apparently had to give back, pay back for obviously breaking a contract. That's the only way in which one would have to pay it back. So DearSA, come forward, come clean, tell us what happened, and tell us what your new direction is. Because clearly you are sending personal information of the people in any event in a spreadsheet to the government. So your idea of, no, you just sending it off, and it's much better because you will land on a watch list. That doesn't, with what I've just showed the people now, it doesn't go off. So people, I hope this was the last video about DearSA. I'm not planning on making another one about this. I think I've shown or conveyed my disappointment in what is going on currently very thoroughly, and it's not about Kim, it's not about sour grape. It's about deceptive marketing. People don't know this. People are giving their names, their telephone numbers, mobile numbers, email addresses, even their age status, age groups to DearSA, and it's just obvious that a profile can easily be made from that information about your political preferences. So they can easily then decide which legislation is coming by which would trigger you, and then they will bombard you, spam you at the end of the day with marketing material for donations which will ultimately go to AfriForum's Hurters Peace attorneys. So I'm not very happy with this process, and I don't care, as I've thought Kim as well reacted. We will not miss you, Kim, and as a supporter. We are not fake. We stay with our principles, and we will continue with it. And yes, support us or not, it's your choice. Believe us with what we have stated in this video or not. Until the next time, remember to please subscribe to this channel and also consider joining if possible, and like this, share this. Until the next time, God bless.
Liberty Fighters Network.
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 Liberty Fighters Network.